Yo, everybody, we're going to be getting started shortly. Just going to wait for a few more people to roll in. Actually, you know what? Let's just get the show started. Let's get the show started. When I was enjoying the tunes. But yeah, everybody get your cameras on. Saif, get that camera on. Shoaib, cameras on. Everybody, let's do this. All right, perfect. So, hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to the first episode, the first day of Late Nights with Da Vinci. This is gonna be, like a little talk show where, I'm gonna be your host. I'm gonna be going through, my journey today. But generally speaking, we're gonna be going through, a bunch of different stuff. It's not gonna be anything to do with IM. It's not gonna be anything to do with building teams. It's gonna be to do with, mindset, psychology, leadership, integrity, cryptos in general, talking about a crypto world, what's going on in the financial markets and stuff, but nothing to do with actually, I am. So as we go public, I want to really build, a network, build, a foot in the social media, kind of world, and, provide value to as many people as possible. And that's kind of what's going to be my plan with, Late Nights with Da Vinci. And there's going to be nothing but pure value. And hopefully, we can get some of the team, to get some feature on the Late Nights with Da Vinci. But today, we're gonna start off with my story. Where did I, how did I start? What were my trials and tribulations? And that's going to be the main topic of today. Okay. Now, obviously, most of you guys know who I am. My name is Omar Mia. I'm 18 years old, and I currently hold, a position of Platinum 1000 within IM Mastery Academy. Now, what does that mean? That means that I'm currently helping and, impacting and changing lives of over 30 people. Currently, about 50 to 60 people currently in my team. Now, I'm also an investor. I also trade, cryptocurrencies, forex, gold, all of that good stuff. But before I was doing all of that, who was Omar Mia? Now, back when I was 17, back in year 13, when I was in college, I was the kind of person who always studied. I was the guy that was revising all the time. I was the guy who wanted to get the good grades, to go to the good uni, to get the good job, okay, to get paid well. That was the life I wanted to live. I was very focused on grades. Back in year 13, I would stay in college after until about 6, 7 o'clock revising, for A-level maths, physics, economics. Those of you that, do some of those subjects, no, it's not fun. But, I was the guy that liked challenges. I always liked challenges before I even, started, this business. And yeah, like I was a bit of a nerd. Let's be real. I was a bit of a nerd. And, I didn't mind that, but because I wanted to get a good job. And that was all I knew back then. I wanted to get a good job, good salary, good life. Do you know what I'm saying? But lockdown kind of came. But before lockdown, from about January, or just before January of year 13, I was started buying and selling phones. Okay. I was buying and selling phones, buying and selling laptops in college to kind of start making some money. For me, I never really wanted to have a job. I wanted to get a good job, but it was going to be like contracting or, doing something where I'm in charge more. It wasn't something like, yeah, I wanted to get a job as this, working at this firm. No, it was more of I was always a person that I was looking for a route to, being my own boss, working my own hours. Okay. Back in year 10, and for your Americans, I think it's eighth grade, you know, I had a work experience placement and it was the worst experience in my life. And actually, Mustafa, who did it with me, sitting right next to me right now on another Zoom call with Amaral, um, yeah, I hated it. I made that decision from that point onwards that I'm never going to work for somebody. I'm never going to work a retail job. That's why in college I started buying and selling phones to make an income stream. It was working in Superdrug. I was working in Superdrug for the work experience. But yeah, so um, when it came to after that, I just hated that. I didn't want that for myself, so I was buying and selling phones, buying and selling devices, and I managed to save up around £2,000. You know, going into lockdown. Now, lockdown and even college was just a repetitive cycle. I hated it. I hated the cycle of wake up, go to school, come home, revise, play PS4, go sleep, repeat every single damn day. Now, lockdown, when it first started, this was my cycle: wake up, play PS4, go sleep, repeat, wake up, play PS4, go sleep, repeat. For the first month of, lockdown, that was my life. I was literally just a bum cheek. I was literally just a bum for the first month of lockdown. And the person that brought me into the platform, brought me into this world of investing. He posted on his Snapchat story. Now, I was friends with him from secondary school, so I've known him for a couple of years. So he posted on his Snapchat story something about trading forex, and I was like, okay, this sounds interesting. I've heard of it before, and it was something that I had kind of some interest in. And I was like, you know what? Let me message him. So I started up in the story. He was like, yeah, this is that. I was like, cool. Can I find out a little bit more? He's like, yeah, let's go jump on a Zoom call. Now, normally when it comes to prospecting, you're getting I was prospecting the guy that was meant to be prospecting me. I was trying to fish out information. And we jumped on a Zoom call and he was showing me the platform and stuff. And I just fell in love. I was like, yeah, this is flipping good. I like this. This is something I want to get into. So I had the money, I got started right away. Probably the most, the single-handedly best decision I ever made was jumping in to this industry of investing and entrepreneurship. Okay. Now, during my journey, I was struggling to start. First 3 weeks on my trading account, my demo was going well. First week was amazing. I was making money on my demo account. Beginner's luck. Jump on my live account. I was hitting stop loss straight for 3 weeks. And it wasn't fun. Okay. I was having a very tough time when it came to, trading at the start. I was not having, I was enjoying it and I had faith. However, it was not, it was a strenuous process. Like Saeed was talking about earlier, I felt a lot of pressure. I felt like, yo, is this going to work? There was a lot of doubt in that point. Like, I'm very new to this. I've got money. I've invested a lot of money into this, especially at the point where I didn't have an income coming in. I'd never had a job before. The only work I've ever experienced was work experience. I've never, ever actually had a job before. So, I was scared. And, it started to turn around after. Things started to actually take a little bit of a turn and it started to get a little bit better. However, obviously, I got some bad advice from a few people on how to, increase my profits and stuff. And I got a little bit brave. So I threw 500 into a trading account. Now, at that point, I ended up blowing it within the next like 2-3 days. I blew the whole thing. And I was left down to about £40 in my trading account. And it was a point at which it was no going back. Like I either had to turn it around here or I was out of the game. I didn't hold a position at that point of getting residual income. I had no team. I was struggling in that department, and it was but that point of no return. And my membership was coming up, so I had to end up selling one of my watches to actually afford to pay the membership to be a part of the platform. Now I know a lot of you guys are from my team, and you've never heard that my full story in depth. Now I was at a very low point at that point. Okay, I had to sell a watch. I had no money left. I had like 9p in my bank account and I was going out and pretending like I ate because I didn't have enough money to buy food, and because I wanted to go out, and I would just go back home after seeing everybody. I go to the events, the workshops with the team, like Asim and stuff, and I just come back and I wouldn't eat. I just eat at home, and that was probably the lowest point in my journey where I was like, I need to turn it around. So that's when I started spending 13 hours a day on the charts. I started spending 13 hours a day on my grind. I started really stepping it up. I realized that I need to achieve my dreams and I'm not going to let anything stop me. I made that decision to officially go all in. And it was probably the single-handedly best decision I ever made in my life. That was the biggest turning point in my life. Those for you traders out there, that was the spring of the spring. Okay. We had a reaccumulation. No, we had a distribution, then a redistribution. And I thought we were just going to keep dropping. We broke all of the structure. We made new all-time lows. And I was in a point where I didn't even know if I could turn it around, but I had to do it. I knew that this worked, although because of the little profit that I saw for that point, when I had my first 3-figure day from over leveraging, I knew that this could work. I knew that the money could be there. If that was right risk management, if I had a bigger, I could have made that money genuinely. I knew that this worked. So I had to turn it around. Now, from that point, that's when I ran it up. That's when I really changed the whole game. Okay. Now, a lot of you guys know me as, yeah, Crypto Da Vinci. Yeah, I got a nice setup. I got all of these nice things now. But there was a very, very, very low point before all of that. Before I met anybody that's on this Zoom call, there was a lower point in the journey. No one in this call right now ever saw those parts of being me. They didn't see me who couldn't present. They didn't see me when I couldn't do Zoom calls. They didn't see me when I couldn't trade. Now you guys know me as, yeah, I can mark up a chart in 2 seconds. Before I'd be on the chart for an hour and it wouldn't make sense. I wasn't the gold king. I wasn't Crypto Da Vinci. I was just Omar. And that's when it turned around. That's when I found gold. Dude, that turning point, at the lowest point, when my account was at the smallest, is when I found gold. Now, this is the point when everyone said, "Now you need like 1,000 to trade gold. You need like 10K to trade gold." And I was like, I'm not letting that limit me. And I became pretty much the first person who had the balls to go and jump on gold within their first couple of months and trade it with a sub £100 account. And I went all in, 13 hours a day. And this was when it was Ramadan as well, so I was fasting. I was playing 13 hours a day. I went absolutely all in. I had eye bags. I was completely knackered. I was gone. And that's when my account turned around. I had a certain target to hit 5 figures by my birthday. I managed to hit that target. I managed to really go from the absolute lowest point to going and hitting my target of 5 figures by my birthday. And I still remember calling Asim and letting him know that I did it. And that's when it all turned around. But when I turned 18, because I was 17 before that, I turned 18 and, everything kind of changed. I also managed to start getting, building my team as well. But my team crumbled. My team built. It crumbled again and again and again from May all the way through to November. It built and failed again and again and again. The students that I have currently have only been from about earliest of November, October, no earlier. Maybe even, November, December is when all of my current students are here. Before that, the whole 6 months, the first 6 months was complete failure for me when it came to building my business. Because I didn't have all of the right guidance. I didn't have all the skills that I have now. And when it came to my business, I had to make that decision to go all in again. Now, let's skip back to September now. So September comes, trading's going well, but I hit another retracement. I blew my whole account. I lost everything that I built up to. Now, I'm not going to any income claims, but from when I hit my goal of 5 figures, so it was 10K was my target, it went out quite a significant amount. Now, I ended up losing all of that. Now, that was a new low point. However, this was the start of uni. So at the same time I dropped out of uni was when I blew my account. So first week of uni comes in and I go to my first lecture. And at this point, I haven't even picked up my ID. I still haven't picked up the ID from, like, as far as anyone's concerned, I didn't even go to university or enroll anything. I went into my first lecture online, saw some old guy, he started juggling and shit on the lecture. And I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. And I just went and linked up with Asim and I got to work. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to let this phase me. This is going to be the point where I have no option for failure at all. There's zero option for failure. There's no chance I'm failing because there's no such thing. I can't do it. If I don't make this work, I'm done. There's nothing left for me here. I have no uni to fall back on. I got no job to fall back on. I had to make this work. So from that point onwards, when I stepped out of uni and I had nothing left, so the next month was straight grind. It was building myself back up. It was building up my trading ability, my leadership skills. And through that is where the most growth came in. This is why I kind of wanted to do this, because I feel like I've had a lot of experiences in the short time that I've been here, coming up to a year now, that I feel like that I need to share that kind of wisdom with you guys. That you guys had that kind of cheat code, someone that's been through that, so you guys don't have to. And then obviously things started to turn around. And then the team started to grow. And then I started to make that residual income. And now we've got to the point where I'm at now. And obviously recently, and by recently I mean over the last few days, I took another very big loss when it comes to cryptocurrency investments. One of my crypto exchanges terminated my account, which was unfortunate. And, I lost quite a bit of money from that. However, it happens. What did I do? I got the call. They called me with some robot telling me, your account's been terminated and, all of the funds have been taken, or whatever they said. Some robot called me. It was an automated message. I was like, okay. Went back to sleep, woke back up. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not going to react to this. This is nothing. This is just a retracement, just a little setback, just a little pullback to expand. That's all it is to me. I got up, I worked out, I jumped in the shower, and I went hard that day. I went back to back on pools. And now, here I am today. here I am today, and you guys have seen me on plenty of Zoom calls today. I think I've been on about 3 calls today. I've done an overview. I did the call with Riz, and here I am now. It's non-stop grinding. I'm never gonna stop until I've achieved my goal. And I'm not gonna keep going because my goals are gonna keep getting bigger and bigger. They're just gonna constantly keep getting bigger and bigger. But that's essentially, a little bit of my backstory. And, I feel like I should share that, especially to my team that's on here, because they've never really heard the full story of how I came to be me. And I feel like to relate to me a little bit more on, seeing where I came from, seeing where you guys are at now, maybe you can relate a little bit more that no matter how low you are now, that doesn't mean that's where you're going to be in a year's time. You got to realize that just because you're at the point that you're at now doesn't mean there's no wisdom in it. Everything happens to you for a reason. However, when you're at that low point, when you're at that point when you think it can't get any worse, there's a reason for you being there. You need to be affirming the positive things at that point, giving yourself that good energy at that point, because that's what you need. When you're at the low point and you affirm negative things, you say, I'm broke, I'm useless. When you say those things, you're attracting more of that into your life. What you put out into the world is what you'll get. When you're at those low points, that's when you should be putting out the most good into the world. You should be saying the best things, having the most confidence, having the most faith in yourself. You got to faith it till you make it. You got to have complete and utter faith until you make it. Always believe in yourself. There's no limit on how low you can go, but there's no cap on how high you can soar. Just like an accumulation, it doesn't matter how deep the spring goes, the spring is the spring. Spring action is spring action. No matter how low we spring below, does not mean that we're not going upwards in the end. If Bitcoin decides to drop to 20K tomorrow, are we still not going to say it's going to 6 figures overall? Or are we going to just ditch it? It's the same thing. Just because you're having a really low point doesn't mean that's the end of the journey. The only point where you failed is when you quit. If you don't quit, you never failed. If you don't quit, you never failed. Just like if you're holding a cryptocurrency, you don't lose your money until you sell it. If you own one Bitcoin, no matter how cheap it goes, you're not going to lose that money until you sell it. Because if it drops and then it goes back up into profit, you never made no loss because you didn't sell it. You didn't sell yourself out. If you think that, the financial freedom, the time freedom is going to come to you with ease, you're mistaken. If you think it's going to be easy, if you think you're not going to get a lower point than the point that you're at, if you're not prepared for that, you're in the wrong industry, my friend. See, the world of entrepreneurship and investing is unpredictable. When you're learning, There's so many lessons to be learned, and you're never done learning. You can only prepare yourself for those losses. But if you want to reap the rewards of it, if you want to reap the time freedom, being able to be, just meet up with your friends. Like when I went to a convention this weekend, I was with my friends. We were having fun. We went to get food, but we were working. We were still grinding at the same time. I've got Mustafa right now on a Zoom call next to me grinding, but he's my closest friend. I've known him for over a decade. I get to spend time and grind with the people that I love. If you want that in your life, then you got to be ready to work for it. You got to be ready to grind for it. You got to be ready to go through the trials and tribulations for that amazing, amazing life. If you're not ready to go through all of that, then you're never going to see the lunge higher. Because the world of entrepreneurship is a slippery slope. You got to make sure that you're always ready for any trials and problems that are going to come your way. Prepare yourself. Don't go in with the naive mindset that you're not going to have any losses. That's the biggest disservice you can do to yourself. expecting that it's going amazing, that you're not gonna have any issues. Although I'm at where I'm at, I'm prepared for those issues. And to be honest, you know what? That's a lie. I wasn't prepared for how big they could get. When I took that hit the other day, and the account was locked, and I didn't know what was gonna be going on. I was stressed. I wasn't in a great place while I was going through that because I wasn't ready for it. But my mom said to me, she's like, if that money's meant to be yours, it will be yours. There's something to learn here. Don't make this loss something where you just lost out. Make it something where you gain from it. Don't let the loss just be a loss. Don't make it that you've just blown an account. Let there be some wisdom in it. Let them be a lesson here. Because if you got the lesson out of it, if you got the wisdom, the experience out of it, then it's not a loss now. You're not in a worse position now. You're actually in a better position up here, although your bank account may not be. You're going to be in a better position in here and up here. And that's what matters. Because up here and in here is what's going to take you to the next level. Up here and in here is what's going to take you to 6, 7, and 8 figures. If I didn't take the losses, I would not be on this Zoom call with you guys. If I didn't flop building my business, Saeed, Enku, Ayaz, Connor, none of you would be here right now. Because I didn't flop there. I wouldn't have made the connections I did. I wouldn't be the leader that I am now. I read all of those books on those shelves because I didn't feel the need to. I would have been complacent because I would have thought that success is easy. God put certain obstacles in our way, but God will only give you obstacles that He knows you can fight through. Does that make sense to everybody? Now, I hope everybody, gained a little bit of value from that. I hope everybody got a little bit of more insight into myself and who Omar Mia is and who your mentor is. And I hope you guys can relate to me a little bit more. But, well, my eye is bugging out. But yeah, I wanted to just keep this call nice and short and sweet, give you guys a little taster on what's to come with Late Nights with Da Vinci and what's to come with, Crypto Da Vinci Secret Source and the Telegram channel. Now it wasn't that it was on a ledger, bro. I mean, I have a ledger, but it wasn't stored on a ledger at that point. It was on a place with a stop loss, because I had, a decent sum in there, so I wanted to run a stop loss on it. But yeah. On that note, I'm gonna end the recording here. I'm gonna upload this to YouTube as well. But yeah, peace out, everybody.